Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. There are many fragrance notes that I really love, and I've done video about that already. And there are also, in the same way, notes that I really don't enjoy. But sometimes you meet a fragrance that features this note that you don't like, but it doesn't ruin it. You still love a fragrance despite it having a note that you don't love. These are the types of fragrances that we're going to talk about today. They all feature a note that I really don't like, but overall, I still love all of these fragrances. Now, the first note that I really don't enjoy is the note of lily. But I have a fragrance in my collection that features this note that I absolutely love. The fragrance that I'm referring to here is Blondine from Fragrancebuy. I was shocked just how much I loved this scent, considering that it has such a prominent note of lily, and it is really prominent. It's the note that strikes you immediately upon spraying the scent, and it stays there for the whole duration of the fragrance, but somehow it works. And in addition to lily, the notes that are here are suede, butter, cacao, caramel, tonka, there's salt, mandarin, there are a lot of other notes. And the reason it works for me, I think, is because lily is combined with very buttery, sweet notes. I mean, butter is very evident here. The scent is very creamy, smooth. There is salt in here, which combined with caramel gives that slight salty caramel vibe. And so you have all of these sort of gourmand notes supporting this lily. And in combination, it just works, even for someone who struggles with white florals, as we all know, but for some reason, this scent just works for me. It is a beautiful, beautiful scent. So you see, despite me really disliking the note of lily, in this one, it works. Next note that I really don't get along with is leather. And I have tried, there is certainly some scents that have more bearable note of leather, but overall, I just cannot pull off leather yet. But I have one scent in my collection that has this note that I really, really love. And the scent is Tenue de Soirée from Annick Goutal. Actually, when I found out that it had a note of leather, I was honestly surprised because I cannot detect it in here at all. The notes in here are blackcurrant, iris, rose, jasmine, caramel, patchouli, musk, and leather. But to me, leather is really not noticeable in here. Maybe because the note of patchouli is quite prominent. Like, I would say this scent is about patchouli and caramel. And perhaps leather and patchouli are kind of mixing together, and patchouli sort of overpowers this combination, and that's why I'm not getting any leather in here. I mean, I'm speculating here, obviously, but that's sort of my explanation for it. The scent is beautiful. The blackcurrant kind of adds even more sweetness and some fruitiness to this scent, but overall it is such a beautiful caramel and patchouli. So it is very sweet on one hand, and it is sort of very earthy on another hand, and the combination works beautifully. Kind of reminiscent of Jimmy Choo, but I would say that this one is slightly more sophisticated, maybe not as sharp, sort of better quality type of scent, really. So if you enjoy that caramel and patchouli combination, I would definitely recommend Tenue de Soirée from Annick Goutal. Next note that I really don't enjoy, and I really learned that more from trial and error. I didn't really realize that I didn't enjoy this note in fragrances until, I tried some blind buy fails, and then I figured out, yeah, the common denominator here is this note, which I really don't enjoy. And that's the note of peach. Overall, I'm a huge fan of fruity notes, but peach is definitely not my favorite. And when I decided to purchase this fragrance that I'm going to share with you, I think peach was listed as the first note, and I was really worried because I thought, well, if peach is really prominent, I don't think I'm going to like it, but I really wanted to try it, and I gave it a chance, and I'm really glad that I did because peach is beautiful in here. This is Soleil or Zenith from Prada. So in addition to peach, we have ylang ylang, sandalwood, nutmeg, cumin, vanilla, pimento. So peach is definitely detectable here. It is not hiding, but it's kind of on a lighter peachy side. It just has the right amount of peachiness. It is not overpowering. I think ylang ylang balances it out really beautifully. And then there are definitely a lot of spices in here. So this is spicy floral peach with some creaminess. So creamy, spicy, floral peach. I guess that's how I would describe this fragrance. It is summery. It is really kind of a little bit smoky even. I think all the spices even add a bit of smokiness to it. Really, really beautiful scent where peach is quite evident, but it is done in an amazing way. And despite me not liking this note in majority of the fragrances that I have tried, in this one, it definitely works. Next note that I really don't like is anise. And this note is kind of floral, powdery, spicy type of note that I really, really don't enjoy. In fact, when I look at the note breakdowns for fragrances that I'm considering, if I see anise there, I typically stay away from those fragrances. This note just really bothers me. I almost find it a little bit sickening most of the time. But again, I have one fragrance that features this note that I really, really love. And the fragrance that I'm talking about is Silk Root from Amore Oud. In fact, in this fragrance, it's very interesting because there are quite a few notes in here that I don't enjoy. But the combination of these notes is amazing. They don't smell like any individual notes. It just smells like this amazing concoction at the end. So very quickly, the notes are tonka, immortelle, anise, benzoin, leather, incense, narcissus, tuberose, lavender, oak moss, cloves, ginger, bergamot. Yeah, there are a lot of notes, but to me, at the end of the day, they're almost irrelevant in this fragrance. I really cannot pick out any of the notes individually. This really smells to me like a delicious Middle Eastern dessert, a full table of desserts. Maybe it's even a table somewhere outside in the summer, and it's just full of different desserts, and somewhere a little bit further down somebody is maybe grilling some meat on a barbecue, and I'm not getting any meaty smell, but I'm getting a little bit of smokiness from this fragrance as well. It is so stunning, and like I said, anise is really not evident here. It is masterfully blended with all the other notes, and I absolutely love the end result. Next note that I really don't enjoy is the note of licorice. Definitely don't like it. This note really bothers me, but the fragrance that I love that features this note is Un Bois Vanille from Serge Lutens. This is a gorgeous woody vanilla. I would say one of the best woody vanilla. And in addition to, of course, licorice and vanilla, this fragrance has coconut, beeswax, tonka, and woody notes, of course. And I do get that in addition to woods and vanilla, there is something else in here. There's other maybe sweetness and some spiciness that is coming from something. But I think the notes of coconut, beeswax, and licorice are really, really blended together well that I am not able to separate them. I know that there is something else additional there, which makes this fragrance even deeper, even thicker and richer, but I am not able to pick up licorice, which I'm really thrilled about. Like I said, if licorice was very evident, I would not like it. I think I shared with you pretty recently a fragrance that I hold and declared pretty quickly from my collection. That was Cognac Cafe, I think it was called, from Galleria Parfums, which in a dry down had the note of licorice very, very strongly, and I just couldn't pull it off. I loved the opening and sort of the initial dry down stages, but in the final dry down, the licorice was so strong that it really ruined the fragrance for me, and that's why I had to declutter it. Well, thankfully, it is not happening in this fragrance. Licorice is mixed together with everything else, creating this amazingly rich and deep woody vanilla that I absolutely love. Next note is not going to come as a surprise. I am sure that most of you were expecting to see this note on this list. Of course, it's the note of tuberose. Boy, me and this note really don't get along. Maybe more than any other that I'm going to list here. I just don't like tuberose, and any kind of tuberose, whether it's bubblegummy, whether it's really indolic, whether it's more green, I don't know. Any kind of tuberose I just don't get along with yet. And I have really tried. I've sampled quite a few fragrances that feature this note, hoping to at least start liking it, and so far it's a no. There's really only one scent in my collection that has this note that I absolutely love, and that's of course 100 Silent Ways from Nishane. This scent is absolutely outstanding. It is so gorgeous. There is tuberose, there is jasmine in here, there is vanilla. Of course, vanilla is very, very strong in here. There's also gardenia, there is sandalwood, and this is stunning. I know there are floral notes in here, and I do get floral notes, although I can't really pick them apart, gardenia, jasmine, tuberose. I don't know, but I do get white florals, but mixed with sandalwood and vanilla, you just get this absolutely magical combination. I have been really obsessing over this scent this spring. I keep wanting to reach for it over and over again. It is so stunning. A huge bonus with this one is that it's a really great performer on all fronts. Overall, just an amazing scent. This is, again, I would recommend to those of you that are like me, struggle with tuberose or struggle with white florals in general. This one just works. And I know I've heard from other people who sort of like me struggle with white florals, but also enjoy this scent as well. So this is a stunner. 100 Silent Ways from Nishane. Next note that I really, really dislike very, very strongly is the note of saffron. This note can sort of come off differently. It is spicy, it can be bittersweet, sometimes it comes off leathery, so it kind of can come off in different ways, but overall, I really, really dislike the note of saffron. But again, there is one pretty amazing fragrance in my collection that has this note that works for me. This is, of course, Italica from Xerjoff. The notes in here, in addition to saffron, are almond milk, toffee, vanilla, sandalwood, and musk. And I've read and heard a lot of reviews about this fragrance, and I know that many mention smelling saffron in this, including my husband, who really gets saffron. I do not. I was so worried about the note of saffron. I mean, I really wanted this fragrance. This has been my biggest unicorn for a long time. I had no chance to sample it, and when it became available again, I had to purchase it, but it was the note of saffron that really, really worried me. I thought, if this is prominent, I'm going to hate this scent. But thankfully, to my nose, saffron is really not detectable. I get almond, I get toffee, I get milk, vanilla. These are really the strong notes. It's like some kind of very sweet almond cookie. Mainly that's what it is, maybe with some milk. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous gourmand. It is a unique gourmand in my opinion, but thankfully I was so relieved that the note of saffron is not prominent in here at all, at least to me. Next note that I really dislike is the note of fig. And I was sort of surprised when I figured out that I didn't like this note, because for the longest time, I really thought that I liked this note until I figured out that I don't. But in this fragrance, fig note is definitely very evident, but it is more like fig nectar. It is very sweet and it is kind of milky and creamy. And when it's done this way, I really, really enjoy it. The fragrance I'm talking about is Adults from Kilian. So like I said, there is fig nectar in here. In addition to that, there are citruses here. There are green notes, vanilla, sandalwood, cedar. And to me, fig is very evident. I can definitely tell that it's here, but it's sweet and it is milky. And there is sandalwood that brings creaminess and vanilla that brings even more sweetness to this. So I find this scent somewhat warm, where in majority of cases, to me, fig is kind of a cold note. I find it kind of a warm in here. It is very soothing. It is not too rich, but at the same time, it has depth. Overall, fig just works in here. And again, I think it is because it is a sweeter, milkier type of fig, which is the type of fig that I like. And the very last note that I really don't like is aldehydes. And you know, when I think about aldehydes, I immediately think about Chanel No. 5, which is of course a classic and a scent that many really, really love, but I think just as many really cannot wear. They struggle with it just like me because aldehydes are just too much. They're way, way overpowering. But in this scent, aldehydes are nothing like that. In fact, I think they bring something very, very special, something extra to this fragrance. I am talking about Isia from Sicily. And just as a little side note, I know that there is a new flanker of Isia that just came out. It's in a black bottle. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I'm very curious about it. If any of you have tried this new flanker, I would love to know your thoughts about it, because I'm very tempted to blind buy it, but I really don't want to, because I don't know if it's worth it. I don't want it to be too similar. If it's too similar to this one, I don't need another one. But if it's quite different, I might consider purchasing it. So anyways, if you've tried it, please let me know. But let's talk about this one. So this one, of course, has aldehydes. It has rose, it has pink pepper, bergamot, it has some other floral notes, musk, cedar, amber, and this is a very fresh, even I would say slightly dewy kind of rose. It is a young rose. It is not red. I would say this is kind of a pink or yellow rose. I mean, really, the color of the bottle, I think corresponds to the scent perfectly. I'm picturing this color of a rose that's included in here. And aldehydes in here are so nice. They bring, I think, a sparkling quality to this fragrance. Aldehydes sometimes can be, you know, they can be soapy. They can have very fresh, kind of clean type of smell, like a smell of fresh laundry. They can be different. In this case, to me, they're very sparkly. They bring this bubbly, sparkly personality to this rose. They make it more interesting. They make it fresher. And I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite rose scents, especially for the summer. That just works beautifully. So even though it has aldehydes, and I can detect aldehydes in this one, they work. In fact, they make the scent very special. So this is the list of notes that I don't like and fragrances featuring these notes that I absolutely love. I would love to know if you have fragrances in your collection that you love with notes that you hate. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!